Roger on unit 121. 34, 150, 34, come in. 4, are you en route to the battery, suspect 318 East 3rd Street? Roger, on your screen, 318 East 3rd Street, at in the parking lot.
Hi, this is Successful, and we're here with this week's episode of Covert Coaching. And today's Covert Coaching is you are not Tony Robbins.
I thought I was once.
Did you?
But I wasn't.
I can't actually remember you standing
I
in
can
it.
clap like Tony Robbins.
Go on,
Nice.
Robbins clap. Go on.
Yeah.
I don't want
I
to
like
make
that.
too much noise.
He doesn't even do that anymore.
like,
He uses
yeah.
2 bits of wood now,
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
he?
true.
That's too much effort. So we just bang 2 bits of wood together.
I love
Lovely
it.
guy.
Yeah. So you're not Tony Robbins. So why are they not Tony Robbins?
Well, I'd like to start off by saying this isn't have a go at Tony Robbins.
Absolutely not. No,
This
not
is.
at all. Of course
We
it
hear a
isn't.
lot of people say, "Well, so and so is going to be the next Tony Robbins. So and so is going to be." It's just a comparable. But you're not. You're you. Be you.
Yeah.
Why does anyone come into this industry and set out to be the next so and so? The next Tony Robbins, the next Gary Vee, the next.
It's you get that in every industry. So I'm a big football fan, and constantly whenever there's like a young up and coming player coming, he's the next Rooney, he's the next Messi, he's the next Ronaldo. It's an all walks of life. It's constantly the next version of somebody else.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake's next Michael Jackson. I'm not sure.
What would that come
I
from?
think it was with the dance. The dancing and the singing.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. But no, and I think everyone understands what we mean when we say that, because it's really what we want to get across to everybody is just being the best version of yourself, being the best you, being the person you want to be. And I mean, if you want to be Tony Robbins, and remember, what I always say to somebody is you never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Absolutely not. We said this before, didn't we? We said no one puts the bad bits in their autobiography.
No, that's it. When you read, when you
December
see
the 4th, I stood on Kelly's head just to get where I wanted. That don't go in. You
no,
get
it
rid
doesn't
of
go
that.
in. No. I walked all over him. Yeah, and it's you don't see any of that. You don't see what they've done to get to where they are, who they've upset, I'm not saying these people have done that, but you never hear about any of it. You don't know what they've had to do, and you are going to have to do things that are going to be different, and you're going to have to deal with them in a different way. So I think it's all about being you, being the best version of you, being setting goals for yourself that are going to satisfy your needs, your wants, having your own why, having your own ambitions, and working towards them.
Yeah, and having your own one word, because I've been reading Evan Carmichael at the moment. It's the one word thing. It's but also we were speaking about this earlier. A lot of people that are now doing really well, they call it doing really well, took something from someone else at some point, amalgamated it into who they are.
Exactly.
So there is a place for that, isn't it, John?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between copying and modelling. Okay, so you're encouraged. I would encourage you to model. Whoever is dominating your niche or your industry, model them in the sense of take parts of what they do but make it your own. So there's a discussion we were having about Michael Jackson, wasn't it? And how some of his music videos, the way his style of dance was modelled on people.
It was like James Brown, Fred Astaire. If you look back at some of their old stuff, I mean, some of it is quite clearly a copy, but because you didn't have the TV and stuff in them days, you didn't know. You wouldn't get away with that blatantly copying. I mean, I love Michael Jackson, to be fair, but there is some blatant copying. But you say he brought bits in, didn't he?
And at the same time, it's modelling as well in terms of using what works, but really making it your own. So somebody like Michael Jackson has his own stamp of what he does, but at the same time, Chris Brown is somebody who has his, he's somebody who looks up to Michael Jackson, but again, he's got his own stamp of what he does. So it's model the greats, but what you really want to do and where you're really gonna stand out is through bringing out the best version of yourself. So we say that you're not Tony Robbins. You are you, and you have your own gifts, you have your own, you have your own magic, really. You have your own superpower. That's one I'm hearing a lot lately, because I know it's, I think her name's Gabby Bernstein.
Okay.
She's got a book out, and I know it talks about having a superpower, and we all do have our own superpower. So genuinely part of the game of life, part of the, your mission is to find your superpower, what works for you, and then to go out there and share it.
So what's your superpower, Josh?
My superpower, I knew you were going to put me on the spot.
Come forward on your chair a bit, Josh. I can't see you.
My superpower is flying.
Is what?
Flying?
Yeah, I can fly.
Okay.
No. So, superpower, I would... Do you know what? What is my
Definitely not
superpower?
flying.
I would ask you
I don't
guys,
know.
what do you think my superpower
Well, you
is?
shouldn't. You know that.
Yeah, why have you put me on the spot like that?
I think your incredible memory for people.
I can't remember.
No. I
Can't remember
that.
what
I was good at that once.
Yeah.
I'm sure I was.
No, I would definitely agree. Josh, your ability is you could go in a room with 100 people, and by the time you come out, you would know the name of. In a year's time, you'd still be able to tell me the name of everybody in that room, what they do for a living, where they live, and why they do it, which is amazing. We came away. We went to a exhibition at Forum the other week, didn't we?
Yes.
Last week, and we came away, and he's talking about some guy, Joel or Josh, whoever, like he's his best mate. And I'm like, who are you talking about? That guy we met at we only spoke to him for like 2 seconds on the stand, and it's like I'm still a bit old school, and I collect business cards. And the problem with business cards, you come away and you got this wad of business cards.
You can't
remember who they were, what they look like, or anything. And but that's a really, it's actually a really good ability to be able to do.
I
think.
But also, people remember you, Josh, as well.
Yeah.
So they all remember you as well.
What can I say? I think part of it is
illegal.
I guess listening. I love listening, and I love getting to know people, and I get to know how people work, why they work the way that they do, and I guess that's why I've been able to grow as a coach, and to be able to do the memory energy work that I do now.
Yeah.
A lot of it is based on really listening, getting to know a person, and allowing them space to be able to become the best versions of themselves, and that's why I'm passionate about what I do, and as I said, I'm not trying to be the next this person or that person. I quite happily admit I'm still discovering myself. I'm still growing as a person, and I've made a commitment myself to continue growing for the rest of my life.
I think that's really important that you do see people come away from events and things, and they try and be that person.
Yeah.
But they very quickly end up being themselves, because it's very hard to keep an act going. But I think a lot of people burn themselves out trying to be somebody else.
Yeah,
definitely.
And it's the earlier you recognise that you just need to be you, and there is a large number of people out there that will respect you and like you just for being you.
Yeah.
Then you can relax, be you, and actually move forward.
Do you know what? For one of my first ever speaking gigs, I remember I was going over it before, and I was nervous, and I was talking to someone about it, and they were like, they were showing me what Jim Rohn does, and they were like, you've got to speak like this, and you've got to, you've got to do this, and you've got to speak like this, and I was like, But that's not me, and I just couldn't understand it. And I would see people, go out and give a talk or something, and they would sort of memorize a talk that somebody else has given.
Yeah. And
I just couldn't understand. But I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to put myself across, But it was quite a big thing. But so as I said, it's something we mentioned last week. Again, is being prepared to fail until you find your superpower, until you find whatever it is that makes you you, and you one of the things you don't even realize you're doing it. So one of the last people to sort of realize what your gift is yourself, and other people will see it, other people will feel it before you can even do that. So part of it is really allow yourself to discover who you are as a person.
Yeah, I think we were looking into all of that stuff as well, and I think coaching, a good coach, in my opinion, will help you find that.
Yeah.
Your version of you.
Find you, within you, not push you in the direction of you should try and copy this person, you should try and do this, you should try and do that. A good coach is never gonna try and get you to be somebody you're not. They're gonna help you find, like exactly what you said. Yeah, you're gonna help you find you from within and grow that. Possibly giving you some tools to help grow, but that's different to telling you what direction you got growing. And
I think like another thing we said last week is when you go to a Tony Robbins type event, why people necessarily think that they want to be a speaker. Like it's natural. I didn't think that was the point. I thought it was to go, was to get motivation.
Do you know,
life.
with a lot of it, I think with this speaker thing, a lot of people want to be a speaker, and I don't think it's a case of all of them wanting to be a speaker. I think a lot of it is a lot of people want the opportunity to get over that fear. A lot of people, I mean, speaking is one of the scariest things you can do, especially if you're in front of 500 people, upwards. It's a massive. So many people just would not do it. They'd rather curl up in a ball and die than they would go on stage and talk in front of people. Yeah. And it's, for a lot of people, it's getting over that fear. But also I think for most, it's the end result. There is nothing more rewarding than going out and giving a speech, and then when you come off, having people come up to you and sort of people who connect with you, people who resonate with what you've just said and things like that, people who are taking value away.
What you've just said there is spot on. Is that you've gone up there and given your speech about what you're passionate about, not someone else's speech what they're passionate about. If you go up there and you want to say what you want to say. I'm quite a fairly introverted person, quite shy. But I'm not when I'm talking about something I'm interested in. And I think that's a big difference, isn't it?
I think it's so important when it's like sitting here in front of a camera, and I know for a lot of people they wouldn't want to do this. I think we've done it long enough now that we don't overly care. Do you care? No, doesn't really matter.
No,
Rich,
I don't care.
We got look at me. But we got to a point where Rich has just bloody got a camera on the go all the time anyway. So you sort of get to a point where you just forget, stop worrying about it. But a lot of people wouldn't want to even just do this, wouldn't want to sit in front. And what would happen is they'd either be sitting here or talking like a robot or whatever. And there's skills you can use to help yourself relax and get used to it, as it were. But certainly not by copying anybody else. There's skills that you've got to use, and is always going to sound wrong if you're doing anything other than just being natural. You just got to be yourself.
Find your own way. So is there someone that you've looked to and you've taken maybe a couple of people that you like and you modelled maybe in the business world, and you've modelled a few things, or even in the speaking world?
I was thinking about when you were talking about modelling earlier. If you think about like retail, the whole of retail is modelling what somebody came up with as a concept of having a shop.
Yeah, of course,
yeah. And all you're doing, you're putting your own shop front on it.
Sure.
But you've still got a shop front.
Yeah.
You're putting your own design of the interior into it, but you've still got an interior. And every step of it is just modelling somebody else's idea. You're not doing anything new as such. Sure. But it's taking an idea like that and making it your own, which is what most high street stores do. Yeah. If you take that concept and do it with everything in life, and just do it, and you do it with your own. So if you're going on stage to do a talk, you're not doing anything. There's ways of doing it to keep the audience attention. There's ways of doing it to make it interesting and to keep it interactive and stuff like that. But you've got to find your way of interpreting those rules. Because there are rules to it, and how you move on stage and things like that. Everyone's just got their own way of making use of that rule, as I said. And it's. I know when I was taught to talk on stage, I don't do most of that now. Do you? Do you still use all those?
I do.
Have you now found your own way?
Yeah, I do a bit of everything. Like I've learnt from a lot of people. So modelling is something that I love, because I love understanding how people work, and as I said, them doing what I do, the reason that they do it. But I would never take anything that anybody says at 100% truth.
Of course.
And because we all live in our own perception of the world, and again, the reason that I do the work that I'm doing now, and the reason that it resonates with me, is because I teach people how to teach themselves.
Yeah.
So teach people how to, go through certain processes for themselves, and they're the actual teacher. So, and the results that people get is because that they, that there is no better teacher for somebody than the actual person themselves.
Yeah.
So the answer is, in conclusion, be you. If you're on stage speaking, be you. If you're not you, if you're trying to copy somebody else, if you're trying to, copy somebody else's speech or anything like, it's never going to be you. It's never going to come across as you, and it's always going to seem flat and fake. Isn't it?
So what's our challenge for this week?
Just be you. A challenge for this week. Any ideas?
I think it's to find 2 or 3 people that you do like, and you admire and take a little bit of them and try and incorporate it in your own way, put your own spin on it,
do some more
and see how that works within your system, within the skill set that you're trying to have.
Can we make this a 2-part challenge?
Do what you want,
So,
Josh.
as I said, I'm always learning. These guys are always learning. You know, one of the things that I've got as well is the fact that, you know, like I said, you can't always see what your gift is. You can't always see what your superpower is. So ask 3 people that you consider yourself to be close to what your superpower is.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let us know how you get on as well, because this one's quite interesting.
Yeah.
That would be really good. Like
Cool.
that.
Okay, guys, so we're Successful Global on all social media platforms. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next week.
See you later.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Roger on Union 121. 34, 1 34 command. So are you in route to the battery, suspect 318 East 3rd Street?